quick history about Joan of Arc. In the 1400s, when she was 13, she began hearing voices and seeing visions, which she believed were sent from God. These voices and visions told her that it was her mission to free her country, liberate the people from their enemies, and put the rightful king in place. And we know who the rightful king is. So on August 3rd, my sister took me to Joan of Arc's birthplace, and it was an incredible, epic experience and day. And I have a couple of pictures I wanted to show. So that's, that is Joan of Arc's house and birthplace. That's where she was born. That's me standing in the doorway.
Right.
Yep. And then there's a statue of her there.
Wow.
And then I think we have one more, which is where she heard the voices. There was a garden area next to it under the tree, and that's where she heard the voices. Oh yeah, that's inside her house right there. Very cool. If any of you have a chance to go to Europe and France, go visit Joan of Arc's birthplace. It is an incredible experience. And so there's one more of outside of where she heard the voice, if we have that, but if not, it's okay. So the very next day we go back and I have a dream and you're in it. So I went to visit Joan of Arc's birthplace. The very next night I have this dream. And so I wanted to run it by you. I think it's really important. So we were in a large open room with people laying on the floor. I noticed Cindy McGill was there. And she said to me, Julie, it would be helpful if you gave blankets to everyone. I then realized we own the building. And I said, Steve, I think we need to get blankets for people here. Then Cindy Crawford, the celebrity model, entered the room. She comes up to me and says, I need your help. Will you pray for me? I look above her and I see a full skeleton that is over her. It startled me for a minute seeing it, and she didn't realize it was there. I knew when I saw it, it was a stronghold, and she said yes to an open door earlier in her life. And now she didn't know how to close it. She was asking for prayer and didn't know what to do about it. It was as if she was being tortured by this skeleton. And the skeleton was looking right at me because he knew I saw him. And I knew he was a giant in the land that was trying to intimidate me from praying for her. He was like right there in my face when she was asking for prayer. And he was trying to scare me from raising my voice to pray for her. And it felt kind of like that paralysis, you know, when you are trying to wake up and you can't say anything. It felt like that for a second. But then at that moment, I pushed through, raised my voice, and started rebuking that skeleton and commanding it to go. That was the dream.
Yeah. Well, it's a broad place.
It is.
It's a big room. And there was a lot of people there. So you've been entrusted with a lot of people who are going to have experiences that are going to bring them down into their, you know, to a flat position where they're going to experience God. That's basically what that is. I mean, we've all had those of us that have been around for a while have had a time where we felt the power of God so strong we've hit the floor, you know.
Yes.
And so blankets are coverings. There's something that gives you warmth, it gives you comfort, and it also gives you privacy. And so I think that it's almost like you've been entrusted with little and God's going to give you more. And when Cindy Crawford walked in, I like her, by the way. I don't know her, but I like her as what I've seen of her. And I believe she speaks for a bunch of Hollywood or people in the industry that are seeking or looking. I think I do know that this year I saw a picture of her and her daughter. I think we're at Burning Man this year. Spiritual. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. It's a place of spiritual seekers where they go. I know a lot of people have different opinions of it, but I've been out there for a number of years, so I have an understanding of what they do. But I think that the skeleton had to do with, you know, can these bones live? And also, you know, is there a chance that I can be delivered or set free from things that maybe we've all done that? So let's not think that, oh my gosh, she's the only one that ever opened a door. We've all opened the door to something that hasn't been good for us, and we've had to learn how to get before God and get it closed, or find someone who knows him who can do that for us and help us through that process. And I believe that you did see it. I think that speaks to me of you as well, having a seer anointing, being able to see things in the spirit realm that aren't really visible in the natural realm. And I think it's going to increase on you as the increase happens. So you're going to have more people that are going to be coming your direction. We needed more blankets is what we needed. We needed more covering. We needed more people who could come along and be present and be helpful in helping people find their direction and get free from oppressive things and things that have killed them or have robbed them of their life. That's what a skeleton looks like, it is. It's robbed you of your life. And so I think that this has to do with what God is entrusting you guys with. And I just happen to be there, and I'm a part of that. And I like that,
Yeah.
And I think, you talked about the two Cindy's, and our name, our name is,
it means light.
Yeah, it's actually a
means light.
reflector of the light. Yeah, reflector of the light, which, so I like that. I've gone with several different, tried to find my name, everybody does that. What's my name mean?
What's my name?
Yeah. And so it reflects the light. And I just feel like that there's going to be more people that are going to be becoming influences, people that are in places of influence. I know that God's been speaking to me about that for the past couple of years, that we're getting, God is literally divinely appointing us to people who are in places of influence. And he's giving us the words in the moment to speak to them that will bring life to them and take them out of their broken and their empty life and situation that they thought would fulfill them, and so many do. They think, well, if I get into this, it's going to make me feel good, or I'm going to feel fulfilled. If I get money, I'm going to get fulfilled, and none of that ever works. Jesus is the only one that gives life, and that more abundantly. And so when people find Jesus, they'll give up everything. That's something the rich young ruler didn't do. But they find him and they follow him. And how many times do we read about immediately people dropped their nets? Peter dropped his net and went and followed him. And that's how because he is the giver of life. And so I just feel like it has to do with this big revival that's going to take place as well.
Yeah.